Show me what you want. Something about you got me in a trance, baby. It's a no commitment. Whatever you wanna do, I can show you a thing I do. Baby, it's something that don't belong to me. When you come around, making my body speak. When you touching on me. When you touching on me. Baby, it's something that don't belong to me.
Yeah, man.
When you come around, making my body speak. Touching on me.
I think what people want most from this Coach Prime era is we don't mind the flash. Trust me. Black people inherently we have flash in us due to our melanin content. We are natural kings and queens of this planet. The sun indicts us as such because the sun and our melanin content is connected. They are connected. We are one of the races of the planet, after the only race on the planet that actually we get accentuated by the rays of the sun, from the rays of the sun, if we are eating the proper diet. We can't adopt the Eurocentric way of eating and expect to shine underneath the sun. It's disrespectful to the sun. When the sun has natural power and natural photons emitting rays that are beneficial to our biochemistry, and then when we decide not to actually eat right and do the right things, then we end up hating the sun. But in actuality, the sun actually accentuates our anatomy, accentuates our abilities, it accentuates our minds. And the third, fourth ventricle of the brain is where the liquid melanin content of our brain resides. And we get stimulated from the sun. We actually get more energy from the sun than any other race. We get enhanced from the sun, while other races get melanoma. They get skin cancer. So whenever you see the data that talks about 1 in 2 people get skin cancer, that's not us. They're taking the European population and using their European population as the baseline data. And the baseline data is skewed. I say all that to say this, that as black people, we love shine. We love gold. We love flashy things because inherently the planet is ours. That's like telling somebody not to be black. Your skin is, well, okay, I hate to use the word black, but I'm going to use the term black because our skin is not necessarily black, but you know what I mean when I say black. Melanated skin tone, okay? That's like telling somebody who has melanin on their skin not to have melanin on their skin. It's your natural birthright. You were born that way. That's your natural position. But in the society we live in, they make it seem as if it's a disposition, as if it's something that you have to toil with, or something that's applied to your existence. And it's not applied to your existence. It's your natural makeup. So when people get mad and say, why are black people so flashy? Why when you get a couple of dollars, you want to go spend money on? This is what we do. That's what we are. It's not being flashy. It's in us. It's in us to shine. We are gods. We are the generators and the organizers and the dispensers of our own reality. Because we are little g gods, emanating from the ultimate state of consciousness. That ultimate state of consciousness is having or living its experience through every living being that has an atom in them. But out of all the living beings on the planet, the melanated gods of the planet, in terms of hierarchy, are at the top. I find it ironic that the melanated people of the planet seem to be the dregs of society. We seem to be at the bottom. That's not the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be at the top. I'm not trying to make this a race war thing. I'm just telling you guys factual statements of why we gravitate towards Prime. Other races can't gravitate towards Prime. He's flashy. And the ones that are melanated, the ones that are black, that are getting upset saying, oh, it's a clown show, he's flashy, he's this, and they get mad at that. They've been brainwashed and indoctrinated by the European system. Naturally, the natural position of a black person is to shine. But it's not that we're trying. We just shine. Okay, like the sun. It's like telling the sun, man, you're shining too much. The sun's looking at you like, what the fuck? Like, what? I'm a sun. I'm supposed to shine. This is what I do. That's my attribute. That's part of my existence. That's my purpose to shine. You know, it's in black people to shine. That's why our voices are different. The bridges of our nose are flatter because we see the world in one. Other races, I'm not going to say their names, they have a pointier nose. It's bridged. They see the world divided. There's a difference. They divide and conquer. We try to bring things together. So that's why a lot of the times in history you find the melanated races opening their arms to foreigners and foreigners coming in to invade. See, we usually give people the benefit of the doubt. We are one of the most forgiving races of history, of human history. We forgive no matter what we go through as black people. We always forgive because it's in us. We are humane. We are civil. We are the architects of civilization. When I say we are civil, it means that we are balanced. Civilizations have balance. They have law. They have order. They have hierarchy. They have systems in place to make things run smoothly. We're not savages as people would like you to believe. We're not animals as people would like you to believe. What people do, they take the worst of our kind and use that to paint a broad brush over our race. And I think that's disingenuous. That's not fair. That's not right. So we love Prime because Prime is us and we are Prime. You know, when I say Coach Prime, it's more than just him. He is us and we are him. We are all connected genetically. The same melanated content, the same stardust that's in space as on our skin. We're carbonated beings. 6 carbons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 666. We are the number of man. We are the real man. So with that said, when I have passion towards Coach Prime and I critique him very harshly, it's not that I hate him. It's almost as if I'm critiquing myself. It's like if I make a mistake, I am my worst critic, right? So if I make a mistake and I do something that's idiotic, I'm like, damn, why did I do that? I was stupid, man. See, I can call myself stupid because it's me. But if I critique Coach Prime that way, oh, you're a hater. Oh, man, come on, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, this and that. No. We're very critical of our own. I have 3 children, right? I'm more critical of my own children than I am other people's children because they're my children. If my child makes an F on an assignment, which she'll never do, but let's say she does, I'm going to be more angry than a kid that I don't know who makes an F. I'm disappointed when any kid fails, trust me, but I'm more disappointed in my own child, right? So understand what I'm trying to get across to you here is that when I'm critical of Prime, I'm critical of my own kind. I'm critical of my own people. I hold myself to a very high standard, so I hold him to a very high standard. So I'm very logical. I try to be balanced. If you think I'm not balanced, I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best to do better. And for my critics that tell me I need to do more research, and I will. I had some commenters on my channel that told me, hey man, don't be so quick to say this, and I'm going to work on that. But I swear I'm not doing anything for clicks, guys. I'm not doing anything for clicks. Actually, I never asked you guys to like my message or share. I don't say that. What do? All I ask you guys to do is leave a comment because I like to hear your perspective. You guys feed me. As I'm feeding you, you're feeding me. It's a synergistic relationship between you and I. Actually, it's not my channel, it's our channel. If you subscribe, that's great because every time I put out content and you listen, if you comment, you're opening my brain. You're expanding my horizons. You're allowing me to elevate and evolve within the context of the channel that I have. I don't want everybody saying, yeah, good job, I like your insight. I like that, don't get me wrong. It's great to get positive energy, but it's also good to get the opposite energy as well. That's what keeps us balanced. I don't want to get too bloviated within myself and within the things that I'm putting forth. I want to be balanced. So when people critique me, I'm always saying thank you, and I mean that sincerely. I'm thanking. Now, if no one's being disrespectful, like no one's cursing me out, like I'm not gonna thank you if you curse me out. Like if you write on my page, if you call me like a dumbass, you're stupid, I'm not gonna say thank you for that. Like that's like outright disrespectful. But if you critique me with respect and say, hey man, you don't know what you're talking about, do some research, you're a hater, that's not disrespect. That's your opinion of my take. Just like I have an opinion of Coach Prime, it's okay for you to have an opinion of me, but I have to be able to eat that opinion, and instead of getting into my emotions, I think logically with my left brain. I capture my energy and motion, which is the emotion, and I control it and subdue my emotion and think logically and look at the statements you've made, and I combat and I contend your statements, not contend with my emotion. Because if I react with my emotion, then I'll be like, then it becomes a back and forth thing. But I first have to thank you, because in all things you have to be thankful. Coach Prime has to be thankful. He has to be thankful that there's Jason Whitlocks out there. He has to be thankful that there are people that like me out there, because we are the ones that are going to keep you in check and keep you in balance. If everybody in the world was like, hey, praise to Coach Prime, hey, praise to Coach Prime, do you know what that would do to a man? He's a man. He's not a God. You know how much pressure that is to take all that praise? You get full of yourself, and you end up thinking that you are infallible. You end up thinking that you are incapable of making mistakes or making an error. And we know that's not the way life works, folks. We make errors. We make mistakes. I am him and you are me, and I am you. You are me. We are together. We are one. I take dumps. You take dumps. I take a piss. You take a piss. I cough. You cough. You get sick. I'll get sick. We've all had experiences in our lives. We've all been through ups and downs. Welcome to life. Now you may have more money in your bank account than I do. I mean, those things are the differences, and that's just the European system that's been placed upon the human experience to make us divided and put us in classes. There's no such thing as middle class, high class, low class. That's just a divisive concept to keep us at odds with one another and keep us with this dog eat dog world thing, where it has the survival of the fittest, survival, like jungle tactics. Survival of the fittest animal gets to the top of the food chain, and that fittest animal conquers. We shouldn't be that way. That's a low vibrational output that we live in. But I say all that to say this. I love Coach Prime. I love Colorado because Coach Prime is there. If Coach Prime leaves, then I'm not watching Colorado anymore. I'll be honest with you. I've never followed Colorado football. As a matter of fact, I've never been into college football as much as I am this year. It's because of Coach Prime. So I like him. I want him to do well. But I'm gonna critique him. I'm going to. And this next game coming up, I'm gonna watch it. If I see some dumb decisions that he makes, I'm gonna go in. I have to go in. I owe it to myself. I owe it to my conscience, and you owe it to your conscience too. You can't disagree with facts. I don't hate him. We're one. I'm never gonna hate my own kind. Now, if you're doing something illegal or harming children or doing anything like that, then of course I'm not gonna stand for that. But if you're making dumb decisions and you're being arrogant and you happen to be operating on a very low frequency in terms of arrogance and pride, because we all have that. We all love to read our own press clippings and say, hey, I'm great. But it comes a time in a man's life where you need to humble yourself. And if you don't do it, circumstances around you will. There's an energy field that's out there that's coming against you, and it's contending against your arrogance that you hold for yourself if you are an arrogant type and if you are an egotistical type. There's always an opposite energy force that's coming against you, and that's not necessarily a negative thing. It's to put you in balance. What you cannot be is imbalance. You can't be overly negative, and you can't be overly positive either. You have to be neutral. It's called equilibrium. So Coach Prime is he's great, man. He just needs to humble himself. That's all I'm saying. And I am thankful for those who critique me. We need that. We need to take it into consideration. It depends how it's done. Do it in respect. But yeah, we shine. That's what we do. That's why we gravitate towards Prime. We shine, man. That's what we do. We dance better. We, scientifically proven, the African male species, the males, the Negroid males have larger, than any other race. It just is. This is not me bragging. This is just science. Our women have wider hips. They have bigger lips. Whatever we have is just better. We're more athletic. We have twitchy fibers. We have reptilian type reflexes. It's very rare that you're not going to find too many. What the running back for San Francisco 49ers, I forgot his name. I know Deebo Samuels, he's back, but it's the white kid. That running back. He's great, but you hardly find those. The most athletic people on the planet are us. The most intelligent people on the planet are us. But you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't think that, though, because you've been told that other races, the Asians and the Caucasians, are the smart ones, and we're just known for our athleticism. No, we dominate all spectrums. because there's so much variance within the black race, that within the black race you'll find the dumbest of the human race, and all races combined. But then within the black race you'll find the smartest human of all the races. We cover all spectrums. You'll find the slowest, athletically, you may find the slowest black person ever, but then you will also find the fastest black person ever. We cover all bases. We are the bookend of reality. We are the bookends of our existence. We are the Alpha and the Omega. We are the first and the last. And everything else in between is just in between. But we cover the bookends. But what society has done masterfully is taking the worst of our kind, because it's easy to find the worst of our kind because it's more of us, it's more variance. The Negroid race has more, when I say variance, it means more types. You have the Aboriginal people who live in Africa and the Congos. You have certain people who have a recessive gene, because I've been telling you guys, our DNA has been tinkered with and tampered with for many years, through scientific experiments, through extraterrestrial involvement of them injecting their existence in our reality and tampering with our DNA. Our chromosomes have been tinkered with. Chromosome 2 was taken out, which limits our lifespan and limits our capacity to tap into our metagenetics. We've also had telomere fibers that have been fused together, and these telomere fibers means that we cannot operate to our optimal capacity. That's why people say we're only using 3% of our brain. Think about that. With all the intelligence that we have, we're only using 3% of our brain. Imagine if we were using 99% of our brain. So the point that I'm making here is that we cover all spectrums. But the thing is, there are certain people in the Africas that love to live, they still have that hominid trait in them. It's a recessive trait, it's a recessive genetic trait. It allows these people in the Africas and the jungles to operate like animals. They're humans, but they're more animalistic than they are humans. And what people like to do is take that small sample size and say, this is what black people are about. And that's not true. Because I could find you the most intelligent black person on the planet. It'll blow out everybody else. It'll blow everybody else out the water. So it's not fair. It's easy to take the lowest of our kind and use that as the emblem or the symbol or the poster child of what the African race is about. No. What Prime is doing is flash, and there's nothing wrong with flash, but you have to flash in a way that brings, and I hate to use the word substance, now I sound like that Oregon coach. Well, they're about substance, they're about clicks. I'm not saying that, but if you're gonna be flashy, you do have to have some substance underneath your flash. Right? You can't be a flashy fool. Like, you can't have nice clothes and a nice car and be a dummy. Your flashiness has to match and be congruent to your intellect. If you don't have that, then you have nothing. You're an idiot. But I know Coach Prime is smarter than that, and we all gravitate towards him because the music, the dancing, the black. Even I think it's a match made. It's a match made in some type of earthly heaven. I say that because think about that. He went to Colorado, a team's color that's black and gold. And we are black. And gold is a mineral that has a lot of nutrients, and it absorbs a lot of nutrients from the sun. Gold is an essential mineral. And I find it ironic that the antediluvian people, the people who were here on the planet before the flood, or even post-diluvian, after the flood, there were a slave race on the planet that mined for gold. Gold is a very important element, especially to extraterrestrials. They use this gold to fix their planets. They use this gold to fix their ships. It's something in that gold content that's very beneficial to everyone. And I don't think it's ironic or a coincidence that Coach Prime went to a team that's colors are black and gold. It's a match, man. I love it. I love their different. I like the way he's linked backed up with Nike, and now they're gonna have like different uniforms, kind of how like Oregon does it. I like the idea of Prime. He's a marketing expert. He's gonna promote his brand by any means necessary. But I just want him within the promotion of the brand to be very logical and be smart about what he's doing. He has to become a better coach. I'm sorry, guys. He has to become a better coach. And I think that him coaching his son is sort of blinding his judgment because he's such a passionate guy, as we all are. I'm passionate too, which is why I critique him. Coach Prime is passionate. He talks about how much he loves this game. If you guys want to do me a favor, you can go back and listen to Coach Prime's Hall of Fame speech. It was amazing. He kept on talking about this game. He kept on saying it like it was funny the way he was saying it. I thought it was amazing myself, but he has passion. And because the passion that he has for his child, for his son, I have children. I have passion for my kids. However, I think that passion for his son, Shedeur, clouds his judgment in making calls on the football field. That he doesn't understand how that hurts his credibility. He's a smart man. I used to listen to him when he worked for NFL Network. He was able to analyze football games and talk about what coaches should have done and should not have done. So I want Deion or Coach Prime to take that same mentality and put on that NFL analyst hat and analyze the decisions he's making in spite of his son on the field. I know it's hard. I know it's your son. I know it's your blood, coach. But when you're in your own territory, on your own 1 yard line, deep down in your territory, and you pass 3 consecutive times and then you punt, I'm sorry. That's one of the worst decisions that's ever been made by a coach. And you're black. You know how they do black people. You know, when we make a mistake, it's extended. It's magnified times 10. Because we have a high standard. Innately, we have a high standard. When anybody else, any other race makes a mistake, it's just, just a poor decision, poor choice. But because we come with flash, there's a higher responsibility for us to come with a greater amount of substance. Because if you come with flash and you have no substance, you become an idiot. And that's what Coach Prime is being coined as, little by little. You come with all this flash, then have substance to match it. You can't make that decision because the flash that you come with, Coach Prime, comes with a lot of hate and envy. There are a lot of people who hate that. They're jealous of that. But I don't see why any black person should be jealous of any black person that's flashy. It's just in us, man. It's in us. We're made that way. We can't help it. We're louder. We dance because we are in tune with the vibrations of the planet. That's why when a beat comes on, we can move to the beat. Some people don't have the rhythm. They're out of frequency. And they operate on a devilish frequency. And that's why their modus of operandi is to divide and conquer. They go to different countries, they take over, they divide and conquer. We don't do that. Our ancient ancestors, they built civilizations. They went on and helped people build civilizations. Okay? The Olmecs, and even the other, great black races that did great things on this planet. But you'll never hear about it. What you will hear if you open history books is about the great things that Europeans did, as if we never existed, as if we weren't on the planet first, as we weren't the ones on the planet first. The European gene is fairly young, folks, 6,000 years old. Now, I find it ironic that the European gene is 6,000 years old, but that happens to be the creation of Adam and Eve till now is about 6,000 years. But before Adam and Eve was created, Egyptian civilization that's in Africa, Egypt is in Africa, it's an African country, they were in their 18th, 19th dynasty. They were walking around with gold slippers while Adam and Eve were covering themselves with leaves. Their nakedness with leaves. We were walking around with gold slippers. Like we are advanced. The highest of ourselves is higher than any other human being, but the lowest of us is lower than anyone else. And what people have done, as I said before, they take the lowest of our kind and use that as the poster to say this is what you are. We are much more than descendants of slaves. We're much more than that. But then whoever has the power of the pen. Whoever has the power of the pen gets to write his story as history. His story as history. And end up putting it in books, teaching it to our children to make it seem like we're nothing but ancestors of slaves. We're more than that. All right, we're more than that. But yeah, man, we love Prime because he's one of us. And there's nothing wrong with being flashy. There's nothing wrong with his chains. There's nothing wrong with his glasses. There's nothing wrong with Shedeur riding around with his Bentley SUV. There's nothing wrong with him flashing his watch. That's what we do, man. The thing that I'm mad at, the reason why I'm upset is that I wish that the flash that they had was being matched with wins. Then it would shut down college football. See, that's what I foresaw. I said, okay, I know the first year of Prime there is going to be a struggle. I don't expect him to win a bunch of games, but he has a team. He did bring his Louis luggage. He brought in some great coaches, so they could win games. They can win it. They could win up to 10 games, or maybe 9 games, or 8 games, right? Because when the flash and the wins come, then what can you do? They shut down college football. Every recruit in America is going to be going straight to Colorado. All right? But Coach Prime still has time. And we're all going to approach it with grace and give him the time that he needs. We're going to be patient, but within the patience, the critique has to come. The critique has to come. I have to bring it. I owe it to myself. I have to bring it. I'm going to continue to bring it. Because it's my birthright to hold my brothers and sisters accountable. And it's your birthright to hold me accountable if I talk some nonsense on here. All right? We all have to grow. No one's above critique. Not even Coach Prime. All right? Not even Coach Prime. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with being flashy. People talking about he's all flash. Let him flash. No one talks about the sun being all shine. The sun is what it is. As melanated beings, we are what we are. We're connected to the sun. So we are going to flash. We are going to shine. We're attracted to gold. It's something in us. We're attracted to jewelry. How many Caucasian people do you see wearing a bunch of chains around their necks? They don't care about that. But for some reason, it's something that attracts us to that ice. To that shine, that bling. We love it. We love it. We love it. And you should love it. Because the planet is yours. Every resource that was put into making that jewelry or that jewel that you're wearing is yours. The planet is yours. When you're thirsty and you drink water, no one asks you why you're drinking water. Hey, what do you mean why I'm drinking water? I'm thirsty. 60-70% of my body is water, and if I'm dehydrated, I need water to replenish the water that I've lost. Whether I've been sweating it out or whether I've eaten food content that has a high salt insertion in the meal. Yeah, I need water. The same way I need jewels and flash. I need that. It's needed. It's needed. I don't even think Coach Prime even notices the chains he wears. It's just part of his skin. It's connected to his skin. You don't see him walking around with his chains flashing it like this. It's just hanging. It is what it is. He's gonna wear his shades. He's gonna wear his hoodie. That's what we are. We flash. And if you don't like it, take your ass to another planet. So I don't mind the flash. I just wish that the decision making and the wins would match the flash, or come close to matching the flash. I don't mind when Shedeur does the Shedeur. Do your Shedeur. You've earned it. When you have game-winning drives and you stick it to the other team, do the Shedeur. And if you have a problem with it, stop him. Then he can't do the Shedeur. If you don't like him doing the Shedeur, stop him from those game-winning drives, and he won't do the Shedeur. That's why I get mad that Coach Prime keeps putting his son in a position to keep getting hit and hit and hit. Yeah, man. So that's what it is. We are flashy people. There's nothing wrong with Prime's flash. Because when he flashes, I flash. We all win. When he wins, I win. And that's why we're rooting for him. That's why we're rooting for him. And that's why I'm going to continue to critique. And when he does something great, I'm going to praise him. I'm going to be the first one on here to praise him. You guys know that I am. If you look at my earlier videos, I was excited and praising the hell out of Coach Prime. But when he disappoints me, I'm also going to speak my piece. Candidly. With contrition. With conviction as well. I can't lie to myself. Remember, guys, whenever you are aware of something and you go against your awareness, and whenever you go against your consciousness, that's a prequel. That's the inaugural steps for mental illness. When you do it repeatedly. Because mental illness is you off frequency. You're not hinged on reality, and you're so imbalanced chemically that it's starting to affect your thinking, your brain. The neurological receptors of your brain are not receiving the messages that they need to receive to actually emit a proper response to your reality. You end up having an improper response to your reality when you function consistently on violating your own consciousness. So when you are aware of something, you have to do better. My I think her name is Maya Angelou. She had a quote. She says, "You know better, you do better." That's a logical statement that's geared towards civility. You know better, you do better. That's just common sense, right? But there's some people that know better, they still don't do better. And if you continue to do that, you are retarding the process of your human and your intellectual evolution. You cannot evolve intellectually. You end up remaining retarded. Retarded meaning that you go backwards. Nothing stays the same. You don't stay neutral. You either move forward or you move backwards. In life, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're getting worse. So when you see something that's not right, it's okay to speak out against it in good taste. But when you see something that is right, you speak out for it as well. We owe it to ourselves as sentient beings because we are aware. We're not animals. We're not walking around like, I don't know. You do know. You do know. When a coach makes a dumbass decision, you do know. You do know. You do know. And that's not the first dumb decision Coach Prime has made. He's made plenty of them this year. Okay? So call it out. You owe it to yourself. Function in truth. All right. Leave a comment and tell me what you guys think. All right. Till we talk again. All right, bye.